Hello guys and welcome back to our DCT UK live podcast. So here at DCT UK, not all of our podcasts are about flooring. Today we're here with Chris Holloway and he's going to be telling us all about his coffee business and it's local to Liverpool. But first, remember guys, head over to our Instagram. We have a huge giveaway for you all to enter. You can win a £1,000 IKEA gift card, a iPad Air and a £250 flight voucher, just to name a few of the prizes. So head to there, follow the instructions to be in with a chance of winning. So let's go. Okay, Chris, so I can obviously hear by your accent you're not from Liverpool. So do you want to start by telling us a bit about yourself and where you're from and everything like that?
Yeah, so I grew up in the southwest in a place called Bath. You'd called it Bath.
Yeah.
I called it Bath. I've lived in Liverpool for 20 years. I came as a student. I love the city. I stayed. Got Scouse kids now.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
And
So
that's that.
That's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people who come to Liverpool fall in love with the city like yourself and then just end up staying, because I know that's what Vanessa did in the sales team as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome place, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's genuinely the best place.
Definitely,
in the world
I say it's the
to
best
live.
city in the world. I'm not biased. So you run a business, obviously, called Neighbourhood Coffee, as I mentioned in the intro. But do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Give us a brief overview.
Yeah. So we are Liverpool's first specialty coffee
Oh, wow.
roastery. So we know where all our beans come from. We go visit farmers. We're just dead passionate about putting awesome cups of coffee in people's hands, whether that's in a cafe, whether that's in your own kitchen, whether that's in the office, wherever that is.
Yeah, and how did you get into this business? Have you always been interested in coffee? Or
No. I always worked in restaurants and bars. So I used to run places in the city centre. After I graduated, I fell back into that. And then I found myself a few years later as a green coffee trader, so commodities trading. So looking at screens, graphs, all the rest of it. And we were selling coffee into small roasters like us and helping them get set up all around the country. And we realised there was no one in Liverpool doing this. There were people that roasted coffee, but it was pretty average, like commercial grade. Mass-produced stuff, no one with real care and attention and all the rest of it. And we thought, there's a million people in Merseyside, they're massively passionate about food and drink, they're fiercely independent. We should start something where they can,
most
feel proud
definitely.
of.
And Liverpool's massive for independent businesses and things, when you look at the likes of Bold Street and things like that. So you mentioned you went to university. What did you study in university?
I did a degree in sports science and a master's in physiology. So
nothing
to do with nothing to do with what I do. I've had about 5 or 6 careers in 20 years, and this is the best one.
Okay. So how did you grow your business from obviously starting out? How did it gradually get bigger?
So there's 2 of us who started it. It's my colleague Ed and I. We had worked together previously. We talked about doing this for a while. Then circumstances conspired that it happened. We started out literally pounding the streets, like knocking on cafes' doors, restaurants' doors, saying, hey, we roast awesome coffee, would you like to try it? A few people took a punt on us. Then we set up our own roastery. That was in 2014, and it's just grown. We launched online in 2015 or so. It was pretty small to begin with. Now it's become a fairly decent size. And now there's 8 of us, and we just moved premises into a much bigger space.
Wow. So is that like a shop or what kind of?
So it's like a production. It's like a little mini factory. You can come and buy cups of coffee. Well, if you stop by, we'll happily make you a cup of coffee. You can buy beans. You can buy brewing gear. But predominantly we roast, produce, pack. We do training there for all our wholesale customers. So if you work in a cafe, we'll train all your team for free if you use our beans. We're just and we host stuff for coffee enthusiasts, so home barista events.
So you can just tell you're really, really passionate about it all and everything. So where is your roastery based in Liverpool?
So we're L5. We are just off the main dock road.
So quite central.
Yeah, we used to be banging L3, a stone's throw from the Liver building.
Yeah.
But we ran out of space. We had to go bigger.
Yeah, and I guess that's just going to keep coming as well.
Well, we're there for a few years now.
Yeah. But obviously, it's been a really, really hard year for everyone, hasn't it? So how have you found this year with COVID and everything like that?
So we most of our wholesale market obviously shut down because cafes and restaurants had to shut. So we had to pivot pretty quickly to being a majority online seller.
Yeah.
Luckily, we spent the last 18 months putting loads of effort and investment into our online sales.
Oh, that's good.
So that came good at just the right time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Definitely,
I'd be probably out looking for a job somewhere. And our team are ace. They're super flexible. They took it all in their stride. So we went from being kind of 75% business to business sales down to like 15%, 5% at the height of the lockdown.
Wow.
And our online has kind of gone up about 1,500% in 12 months.
Wow, that's good. So at least you've kind of found a way around it. And
yeah,
online.
it's taught us that we need to not just think in the traditional ways of getting coffee into people's hands.
So is this your website here then?
This is, yes, that's us.
What's your website? Is it just called Neighbourhood Coffee?
It's neighbourhoodcoffee.co.uk.
So if people watching this at home, they'll just type in Neighbourhood Coffee and you'll be the first one that comes up.
You'll find us on Google. We're all over.
Cool. And what type of stuff can you find on your website? Can you purchase?
You can purchase beans, you can purchase brewing gear, you can get a load of queries answered, you can buy gifts, you can set up a subscription, so coffee just arrives through your letterbox
so
every
it's
week,
not just for
every 2 weeks.
wholesalers?
No, it's a massive business to consumer.
Amazing. So if I just wanted to buy one bag of coffee on your website, I can?
Yeah, takes seconds.
Perfect. And where do you actually source your coffee from?
Quite a few places. So Brazil, Colombia, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Kenya, Burundi, India, some other places.
Basically all over the world then.
A fair bit of the coffee growing. But I mean, we're pretty small scale. Like, we've grown in the last 5 or 6 years, but we're still really small in the world of coffee roasting. Yeah.
So in your opinion then, where do you believe the best coffee comes from, country-wise?
We get asked this all the time. I try and be diplomatic, but if I had to drink one country's coffee for the rest of my life, it would probably be Ethiopia. Like,
really?
That's where it comes from, that's where it was discovered, that's where it originates from, and there's something about it. Like, when you go, there's something magical about it.
Oh my gosh, that makes me really want it.
You do want to go, yeah. You get on a plane, you get in a 4x4, you drive for hours and hours, and then you're in the middle of like these lush green hills.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It's phenomenal.
So your coffees that you sell, so like these bags here, do you do like, for example, like one from Ethiopia, one from Colombia, or do you kind of blend all the flavours and make it?
We do some from individual farms, we do some blends, we do some down to like individual plots of land. So I can show you photos of where that coffee comes from, and we've been and seen and hang out with the farmers. And there's some that we set up like community initiatives where we go. So we're working with this little community, tiny little place in the middle of nowhere in Brazil. But we started out buying a little bit of their coffee. Now we're buying most of the stuff that little community produces. We've managed to double the price that they get for it. Yeah,
it's really good as well, because as you said, you're giving business to the local communities around the world who aren't maybe doing so well as well. So it's really good in that sense. So you say that Ethiopia is the best tasting coffee in your opinion, but what makes a good coffee? What do you think makes a good
So if you were to like walk down a supermarket shelf, like, walk down a supermarket aisle, there's tons and tons of choice. What we say to people is look for as much detail as you can get. If you care about where your coffee comes from, look for as much detail, because the more detail, the more care's gone into sourcing it, and probably the more care's gone into roasting it as well. Look for something that's been recently roasted, because some of the stuff on a shelf might be roasted 6 months ago. It's already 6 months old when you open the packet.
So how do we tell that on the coffee?
There should be a roasted on date, hopefully, like if you're fine with small scale roasters, they will happily put the date of when it was produced on. The much bigger guys might not do.
And does that change the taste of it if it was roasted like, I don't know, like 6 months? Is the a time limit?
So it'll go stale. I mean, the bags have one-way valves in. Some of them are like nitrogen flushed, but the moment you open it, it'll start to stale.
Oh wow! So how long does coffee normally last before it starts to go bad?
We would say like drink it within like 3 or 4 months.
Oh, really?
Keep it sealed in a cool, dark place, and preferably buy it whole bean and then grind it yourself, which for some people is a massive faff, totally, because you have to buy a grinder and all the rest of it. But it genuinely does taste better.
So I actually might start doing this now. I think you've convinced me, because I don't think I ever look at details when I go and get like coffee and things like that. But if it makes a difference, then How do you know like what can you taste stale coffee or?
Yeah, it'll taste kind of flat and a bit lifeless, and it won't have
Right.
some. Again, it'll depend on a ton of factors, like how well it's grown, how well it's processed, how well it's roasted.
Yeah.
You can cover up a load of tastes by roasting stuff really dark. So you just taste the process rather than taste actually where the coffee is, because an Ethiopian coffee is not going to taste like a Colombian coffee. They should taste completely different.
Yeah, okay.
A coffee from Guatemala was going to taste different to one from Brazil. Obviously, I'm talking like big scale.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
tiny details in all of them.
yeah.
But our approach is to be able to tell the story of where it's from. So you can go, oh, I really like that one from Kenya.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I like that one with the red label.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
try and just demystify it, because there's a lot of like...
Just so much that goes into it.
There's
it
so much that
sounds
goes
like.
into it, and there's so much info. And some people in the coffee industry like to pretend that it's some kind of secret. And our approach is completely different. We want to open it up so that everybody can enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, how would, obviously, like we're talking about in the shops and things like that, what to look for on labels, how would you make, in your opinion, make the perfect coffee at home if people are watching this?
It depends what you got. Like, I don't have much coffee gear. Actually, I do have a lot of coffee gear in my house, but not particularly expensive coffee gear. You don't need a really flash machine. I use a little filter brewer. It sits on top of the mug. A paper goes in. I grind it fresh, and then it's just my kettle. So the plastic brewer costs £5.
Right, okay,
It's
so
dead
you just
simple.
pour the hot water
I drink
in.
black filter. Yeah, just pour the hot water over. There's tons of guides all over the internet, video guides, the rest of it. You can go on our site, and there's tons of them there.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, it's just a little bit of like, it's like a little 3-minute task, but it forces you to slow down, and then you've made something that's worth like enjoying.
Worth enjoying, yeah.
We say to people that coffee is an affordable luxury. So if you want to get into really good wine, it's dead expensive.
Yeah,
You want to get into
100%.
really lovely watches or amazing shoes or
Yeah.
whatever it is, you're going to have to outlay a lot, but you can get into really good coffee without spending a great deal
You just take that
of
little bit
money.
extra
You just
time.
take that little bit of time, look for those little details, and just have fun, like
Yeah.
exploring.
Yeah, definitely. So on your website,
Yeah.
do you sell anything other than coffee, or do you just sell coffee beans?
We sell pretty much coffee. Yeah, coffee and coffee gear.
Yeah. Oh, so you sell like coffee gear as
Yeah,
well?
yeah.
not
So we
just-
sell stuff to make it. We sell home espresso machines. We sell brewers for travelling on the go or for keeping in the office. If you want to be the one person that makes really great coffee in the
Yeah.
office and everyone else has terrible coffee, then we'll sort you out and keep you kitted.
So what's this here? This Aeropress?
This is an Aeropress Go. I have one right here. It is a little tiny, like a 1-cup brewing device, but it packs down into that big. So
Oh,
this is
wow.
the mug. So it's dead simple. We can jib those two off. So that's your mug.
Yeah.
There's your brewer. You get a filter paper. You would pop it in there, and then that goes on top. You would pop coffee in there, water on top. You'd pop the plunger on so it makes a vacuum, so it'll just sit there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then
Okay.
when you're ready, you just plunge. And what you're getting is kind of a little bit like cross between a cafetiere and a filter.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And then the best thing is you take it off, you pop the filter cap away, and you just plunge it straight in the bin. You give it a rinse in the tap, and it's done. So if you're out on a walk and you can't be bothered taking like you might have to take some hot water with you, but it's a brilliant little solution.
Yeah.
We sell loads of them. They're brilliant gifts. They're brilliant presents.
Yeah, Christmas coming up as well.
Christmas coming up.
Purchase these
Yep.
guys.
And the boss thing is it just packs away into this tiny little.
Yeah,
That's it.
that is really handy. So you say the filter stuff. Do you have to purchase like?
Yeah, so these come with 350 filters.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
350 cups worth of
Oh,
coffee.
okay,
Like,
so
I have one in my house and I haven't even used half of them.
Oh,
yet,
so that
and
includes when you buy that includes the 350 filters.
it'll
as
include the
well?
350 filters, yeah. We
Oh,
throw some
cool.
coffee in as well to get you going.
Oh, that's amazing. And that's only £30 as well on offer at the minute, isn't
Yeah.
it? So yeah, great Christmas present, guys. All about the promotion here. So we've seen a couple of these coffees here. Let me just get one actually. So this is called Espresso Yourself. So do you have different names and stuff?
Yeah, so when we started out, the whole idea was to kind of break down some of the secrecy
Yeah.
in the coffee world. So we thought, let's just stick a stupid name. Like Liverpool's a really musical city. There's
Yeah.
tons of famous bands that have come from here. And plus we wanted people just to, like, it's just a hook to get people in. And so we started out like just putting puns of coffee related puns from song names
Yeah.
on them, and now
Love
it's
that.
become like a proper thing. Like 6 years later, we're still like churning them out.
Yeah.
And we have people sending them in. We have people in their companies having competitions.
Oh wow.
So they'll say like, right, 15 minutes, go, everyone find the best coffee pun you can.
Love
like
that.
we give prizes. If you name one, like we might give you a credit on the website.
Yeah.
This coffee was named by, and we'll send you a load to keep you going.
Oh, I like that.
And it's become like we are those guys who put puns on the names of their coffee.
Yeah.
And honestly, like the bright colours, the fun names, like the detail about who's grown it and all the rest of it is just to
It all adds
make it
together
as
to make
accessible
your brand.
as possible.
Yeah. And do you have social media platforms and
Yeah,
stuff?
we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Not so much. We don't do much on Twitter, but we're on it.
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram are the two big
Main
ones.
things. So
Yeah,
people can
you
get involved with you there.
Yeah, you can find us. We're just under Neighbourhood Coffee. If you search for Neighbourhood Coffee, you'll find us.
Yeah, perfect.
It gives you a little insight into. So maybe if we're away, we'll be doing loads of stuff on stories and all the rest of it, of farmer visits, and this is how it happens, and this is what it looks like.
That's cool.
And
There's like a little blog as well. Isn't
yeah.
there?
There's a whole bunch of the gang of like day-to-day life in the roastery, because people are always intrigued about what goes on in these kind of places. How do you do that? And what does that look like?
Yeah, I definitely am.
So we'll give you like some behind the scenes of some stuff.
Yeah.
It's
definitely what people want to see, isn't
it?
So what's the most popular coffee that you get requested or you sell online?
Our house espresso, that one with the black label, which is the first blend we ever made, pretty much.
So the original.
The original. Everyone loves it just because it tastes like chocolate and caramel and butterscotch, and it works. It works in filter. It works if you make espresso. It works in a cafetiere. Just works.
So this coffee, this might be a completely stupid question, but this needs to be done through a filter device like this, or can you just put it in a cup and pour water in it?
No, it's not an instant, so you can't put it in a cup and pour water over it. You have to get if you get a cafetiere, like most people have got one in the back of their cupboards somewhere, probably covered in dust, and they're like, oh yeah, we should use that someday. So yeah, all you need is coffee and hot water. So if you've got a kettle, you're onto a winner. Some people invest in scales because they want to get technical and
oh wow,
the right amount of coffees,
that's
right amount of water.
Hardcore coffee people.
The hardcore people have serious cafe setups like in their kitchen,
Really?
like thousands of pounds worth of machines and grinders and more stuff than we have in a roastery.
That is crazy. So I'm going to ask you like a question here that's been requested by like the team, and people just generally don't know it. But what is the difference between a latte and a cappuccino?
So it depends on where you go, because in different places in the world. So if you went to Italy, they'd look at you strangely if you said a latte. They wouldn't know what that meant particularly. Like for them, a cappuccino is a pretty small, so like a 6 to 8 ounce drink. You only drink it in the mornings. You don't drink any milk after midday.
Oh wow.
Italian coffee culture is dominated by espresso. So you might have one milky drink in the morning, but after that, it's all just espresso.
It's all black,
espresso, very short, very strong, very punchy. You don't sit down, you just drink it standing up. Thanks very much. Off I go. I'm going to go again.
Wow.
A latte has become a Western thing, like Starbucks culture, Western cafe kind of culture, masses of milk. Basically, a cappuccino in our world, like short, punchy, you can really taste the coffee. A latte is far more milk-based.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around, you know.
No. Cappuccino's traditionally, like a third espresso, supposedly. Whether it's true or not, it's like this thing. 1/3 espresso, 1/3 steam milk, and 1/3 foam. And if you went to Italy, there's no chance they'd stick chocolate on it. Like, no chance whatsoever.
That little sprinkly thing.
No, none of that. Like, none of that whatsoever. But then you see in some places, like these massive, great, like 24 ounces of hot milk. Like it's a milk drink, like with the suggestion of a hint of a coffee flavour.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. And I don't know whether you've got any, but do you have an interesting fact you can tell us about coffee that none of us would know? Maybe caught you off guard there.
There's a myth. The story is there's a myth about how coffee was discovered, and it's almost certainly completely and utterly false. But there was supposedly an Ethiopian goat herder, so a guy who kept goats in the wild. This is a few thousand years ago in Ethiopia, who noticed that his goats got frisky after they'd eaten coffee cherries, because coffee, the beans that you and I know are seeds that form within a fruit on a tree, and they apparently frisky goats. He was like, and then he ate them. He ate the fruit himself and was like, had a massive caffeine hit because even the fruit has got caffeine in it. And supposedly that's the story of where it comes from. It's almost certainly complete rubbish, but it's a nice story to tell. And loads of cafes are like, yeah, Caldi. This mythical figure who like discovered coffee.
Wow,
apparently.
so coffee comes from Ethiopia.
Yeah, so it grows wild there. So like in the UK, if you was like left a patch of wasteland, you get brambles and stuff. Like if you leave a patch of wasteland in Ethiopia, you get coffee plants.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Why is that? Is it because of the soil and the sun?
It's just one of the natural dominant plants.
Wow.
Like in that, and then from Ethiopia, it's gone all over the world.
Yeah, that's cool. And in your business, Neighbourhood Coffee, do you run everything yourself, or is it you and your partner?
So there's 8 of us now. So people have a variety of roles. There's some guys like in the production teams. They are roasting, packing, dispatching, delivering. Some of the guys are more customer facing, so sales managers and training.
Yeah.
We do a lot of training, obviously pre-corona and
Yeah.
post-corona. We have a lot of people into the roastery, like teach them how to make espresso consistently and how to steam milk well and how to draw those patterns in the top of the cup that everybody wants to do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like you can tell when someone gets a new coffee machine because they're sending photos of, look at this, I did a heart, and look at this, I did a... Yeah.
How do you actually do that?
It's literally where you move the jug as you pour the milk in. Like it's white stuff on top of brown stuff.
Oh,
like
really?
Yeah.
I
It's
might
just
try and have a go.
practice.
Yeah.
But everyone straight away, they just start moving a jug around thinking that, that's going to work.
And obviously you started off like you and your partner, and you've obviously grew to become this big business that we see today. So
Not sure without big.
no, it's you've
It's
definitely
bigger.
grown.
Yeah,
Exactly. So what do you think makes a successful business in your eyes, and how have you like grown and things?
We just want to care like every day, like attention to detail, going above and beyond, being like truthful with people. Like if we're going to make mistakes, we're humans, so owning up to them quickly, and just trying to deliver a really excellent product with really good service and happy, friendly people. Like we try and make our big kind of strapline is we make people's lives a little bit happier with coffee.
I suppose a big thing is like you said, telling the truth. You're not trying to hide anything. Like people like
we're not big enough to have projects running in every country. Like we buy organic and fair trade coffee, but we don't put the label on because we'd rather just tell people where it comes from. That's our approach to it, and thus far it works okay.
And in your opinion, again, what do you think makes a good leader of a company?
I think someone who trusts other people, because I find I wanted to do everything.
I get
but
that.
I have to. Our team are amazing. We're super privileged to work with them. Like every day is a school day. You have to, in a small business, if you don't know how to do something, someone's got to learn. Like we've made mistakes on the way, but if you hire good people and then trust them to do their job and give them the tools. Most of my job now is giving our guys the tools to do what we want
them to do,
what we want everyone to do, you know, and to make it as fun as possible. I've never got up I've never once in 7 or 8 years gone, got to go to work today. I genuinely love coming, and I want our team to genuinely love coming to work as well. And sure, there'll be bad days and days where people do each other's heads in, and days where stuff goes wrong, and days where like, what do you mean you've done that? Nightmares like that. But I think the sign of a good team is people that can okay, cool, we're just going to do the best we can, and we're going to have fun doing it, and we're going to
and a happy team,
and it builds a happy
good
culture.
business.
and then the rest of it will follow from that.
Exactly. I think Richard Branson once said that, didn't he? Like, treat your customers nice, but your employees nicer, because they're the ones who are going to make
well, without the team, there is no customer.
Exactly,
there is no Neighbourhood Coffee.
Cool. So thank you so much for coming in. We've learned so much more about coffee, and I literally cannot wait to try this coffee and use that. I'm so excited. Remember, guys, if you want to purchase any of Chris's coffee, you can just go to his website at Neighbourhood Coffee, or if you're local and we're out of lockdown, you can pop into his roastery and purchase them there and meet the team. But yeah, that is all for DCT UK live podcast today. Remember, we do have the huge giveaway on Instagram where you can win the £1,000 IKEA gift voucher, £250 flight voucher and an iPad Air and so much more. So just head over to there and follow the steps and you can be with a chance of winning all of that. And remember, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe on this video, and then we'll see you in the next one. Bye.